I figured since I reviewed every Marvel movie recently, I should go through every single movie in my ranking and talk about each movie from worst to best. Um, this is my ranking of all. What is there, like 20 some Marvel movies? I don't know. How many is there? You know what? Let's look this up real quick. How many Marvel. Crap. I can't. No. Crap. How many. I'm doing this in real time. How many Marvel movies are there? Oh, 22. Okay, 22. Let's go. Alright, the bottom. Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk is just bad. I think there's a lot of people who are like, forget this is part of the MCU. For good reason. It's a worthless movie. You don't need to watch it. If you really want to know the origin from the Hulk, don't watch it still because it's just worthless. Um, it just it's not even made by Marvel. It's made by Universal, and it's like a collab that they did to make this movie because Universal holds some of the film rights, Marvel owns some of the film rights, and it's just this jumbled mess of an idea that just didn't come together. It was just trash, and no one should ever watch it. And I absolutely hate this movie. So you know what? This one's a hard one, but I am gonna go with Captain Marvel. This is just a boring, bland movie that is just it's disgusting. It's just really bad. It's just like such a. If here's the thing, I could watch Thor 2. I could watch Iron Man 2. All these other movies because they have charismatic leads and they're fun to watch somewhat. This is not fun to watch. The action in it is bad. You have this ultra super powerful character who has some of the most bland acting I've ever seen in one of these movies. It's just I don't want to watch it ever again. Yeah. Now let's get to Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is just bad. It has nothing to offer. Don't watch it. Just that's all I have to say. Thor 2, the worst MCU movie of according to a lot of people, but I don't think it's as bad as people say. But I also don't think it's good. I think this movie is terrible because it's just really boring. It's just really, really boring. But there's a couple decent scenes, I guess. Thor! I think it's basically on the same level as the first movie, just slightly better. So, yeah. That's what I have to say about that. And, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Has a couple decent gags, but overall it's a worthless movie that it was like, hey, let's trick people into seeing this movie that has no business existing. That does not connect to the other movies. It's besides Ant-Man gets stuck in this realm at the end of the movie. Alright, cool, but that didn't need to happen. You could argue, oh, Van Dyne comes back. Cool. Did she need to come back? No. She didn't. She could have just stayed dead. Because that's what we all thought, is that she was dead. That's what we thought happened. Should have stayed that way. This movie shouldn't have existed. And the ending, little stinger that people flip out about, that should have been at the end credits of Infinity War. Sorry. This movie's awful. Alright, Ant-Man. Ant-Man is just terrible. And it's just really bland. I think the first movie is better than the second one, but it's mildly amusing and I can watch it, but it's just like you can't really make Ant-Man into a movie because he's a weird, wacky sci-fi character that they're never going to make actually like the comics. So they had to make like a really bland version of that's nothing like the comics. And this is just nothing. It's just a nothing movie. Civil War. I know some people are gonna flip out at me for this one. This one. So what? What are we at? Hulk was 22. Captain Marvel was 21. Thor 1 and 2. 18, 17. Or no. So we're at 16. 16, 17. So we're on 16. This is 16 on number 16 on this list. I hate this movie because it's just nothing. It doesn't have any impact or meaning, but people keep saying it does. So it's given this insisted importance, but it doesn't do anything. You know, the whole conflict of this movie doesn't make sense. The characters are fighting for no reason. It's really bad. That Marvel treated their top-selling comic of all time, turned it into this, and it has a couple fun moments and decent fight scenes. Yeah, sure, but it's just the characters are fighting for absolutely no reason within this movie. I've gone over that in my review extensively. It's a big issue with this movie. Really hate it. Should we go with next? Yeah, let's go with Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron. If it didn't have that dinner party scene, it'd probably be below Civil War, but it did, and that was a decent scene, so that's all I have to say about that. But the rest of the movie's awful. Doctor Strange, this is where we get into, like, I don't really hate the movie anymore, it's just really bland. And yeah, this is just really bland. I've only watched this movie twice. Once when I saw it in the theater, and then once to do a review. So, yeah, I'll probably never watch this movie again. I don't have a copy of Spider-Man Homecoming, but yeah, that's number 14 on this list. It's not Spider-Man to me. I don't like the weird changes, and yeah, and then Spider-Man Far From Home. You know what? It's slightly better, I guess. It's just a little bit more creative, but I think it's on the same level pretty much. So there's number 13 and 14 on this list. What should we go with next? Captain America, the First Avenger. The first act's great. The second act is terrible. It's just a dumb explosion movie, which sucks because the first act was so great. Black Panther. Black Panther is really, really overhyped. It's it's weird that this is even part of the MCU because it just has none of the charm of those movies really going for it. The main character sucks in this movie, which is not something you have within any of the other Marvel movies besides Captain Marvel. But yeah, just awful. But overall, like, I can watch it, I guess. But yeah. So number 11 is Endgame. Man, people are really gonna hate me for this one because there are people like, this is my favorite movie ever. If this is your favorite movie ever, I'm gonna ask you two things. Is it because of the ending, or is it because of the whole movie? If you said the whole movie, I'm fine with that. That's your favorite movie. That's your opinion. Cool. If it's because of the ending, maybe reconsider why you like the movie, because the ending is not the other 2 hours plus of this movie. It's only half, not even half. It's 30 minutes of the 3-hour movie. So, yeah, I mean, this movie it's got a couple great scenes, a couple great performances in a couple scenes, but it's so predictable for a movie that they marketed as if it was so unpredictable, as if it was so, wow, amazing, and it was just the most predictable thing that they could have done, and it was super disappointing. So, Iron Man. I think some other people are going to really hate me for this one, too, because this is some people's favorite, too. Iron Man's okay. Like, that's all I have to say about it. It's not particularly bad or anything. It's got a good character arc for the main lead, except that it doesn't really hold much weight when you watch the rest of the movies because he's still kind of a snarky douchebag. But, you know, it's fine. I like the movie. It's there. That's all I have to say. Thor Ragnarok. This movie's really funny. But just the fact that they treat everything as a joke when there are some like legitimate like tragedies that characters should be feeling emotional over in this movie that they don't just sucks, and I think it really hurts this movie a lot. So yeah, that's like what number? I don't even know what number one anymore. Um, Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is a very um, it's very overhyped, but it's like yeah, it's a fun espionage spy movie. It's not particularly dark, like oh my gosh, like some people say it's like it's really dark. No, it's the same as the other Marvel movies. So yeah, and then people are gonna get mad at me about this one too. Avengers. I mean it's fun, but like it's shot like a TV movie. It doesn't look very good, but overall, it's like a really fun movie. I could watch this over and over again, but still, just it's still like shot like a TV movie, and I think that just really hurts it. Like it's actually hard to watch at points. What should we go with next? You know what? Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3. People really hate this one, but I think this is one of the best Marvel movies. I think it's just a really well directed, fun movie. The Mandarin twist isn't that big of a deal as people make it out to be. It's fine. It's a fun movie. Shut up. All right, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a great movie. I love watching this one. Seen it like a billion times. I'm gonna see it a billion times again. Just everything about this movie just works and comes together, except for the villain. And Volume 2 is even better. Has a great villain. Makes me cry. Just so many great things within this movie. Absolutely love it. Insanely great. Who doesn't love Guardians of the Galaxy? But this movie, I think some people are like, the first one's better. I'm like, nope. Second one's better. Just first one's good, but didn't make me cry like the first movie did. So, or the second movie did. And this one has a better villain. Kurt Russell's great in it. So, all right, my number one movie is Infinity War. This is the only Marvel movie I felt like actually had weight. It had consequences. It was really well paced. There wasn't any dinking around for the most part. It was all the right pace. It was all put together. Just well crafted. Just a great movie. And this is what the rest of the movies in the MCU should have been, but they're not. So I think it's what hurts it.